So, hey there, fellow travelers. Mark here with Wolters World. Today we're in our library having a little travel chat. Jocelyn is away with her mother. They're actually in Vermont right now, enjoying themselves. And sadly, the leaves haven't changed yet, so they're seeing some really beautiful views, but not the leaf peeping they'd actually be hoping for. So so it's just me today. Just so you know, there might be some weird questions that aren't travel related that pop up here. Those of you who don't know my day job, I'm actually a professor and we have an exam tomorrow. So I'm giving my students, if they want to talk, they can send in some questions here too while we go through some travel stuff. So let's see, Anthony Castillo, you're heading out for the first trip, international trip next summer. Very cool. Going to London and Cornwall. Both really cool destinations. You have a good time there. If you got a friend there as well, they'll really show you around so you get the good food, meet the right people. So that would be a pretty cool thing. Sam asks, what's the best cheap destination? Overall, I think if you went for Europe, I would definitely go with Lisbon, Portugal. It's not as cheap as it used to be, so maybe go to Porto for a little bit cheaper, but it still is a good bang for your buck. But there's a lot of tourists there, but it's a fantastic place. Beaches, museums, super nice people, great food, so you can't go wrong with that. Gary asks, Walter, hi, it's Mark Wolters. Do you do cruises? I have done a cruise before, and the thing is, if you ever do a cruise, you really got to make sure it's the right one for you. I went on one with Croisière Cruise, this French cruise line, and it was me and a bunch of 80-year-old French people, which actually was really cool because I got to practice French and they were super nice, but it kind of went through the point of you want to make sure you do your research if it's going to be a party boat. If it's going to be a weekend, like if you're going to the Bahamas on one of those 3-day cruises, it's probably not going to be super fancy. It's just going to be crazy drinking, fun kind of stuff. So make sure you do your research on those because there's a big difference on the cruise line. So have a heads up for that one. Brian, hello. Good to see you. Cheers. Eric Brown asked, do you have anything on Seattle or Denver video? He says, yes, we have a 5 Love and Hates of Seattle and 5 things you should eat when you go to Seattle. So there's a couple there. We got some stuff from Vancouver as well when you're up there in the Pacific Northwest. But when you're up there, it's all about outdoor stuff. It's so much outdoor cool stuff to do. You'll really enjoy it. So you'll be fine when you're there. Well, I'll get back. The STP one, I'll get there in a sec. Thank you, Jazz. CIT2. Is Cuba safe? I'm American, don't want to get kidnapped. Cuba's not a kidnapping place. There's other places you might be more worried for that. Cuba, a lot of people are starting to go to Cuba because it's a cool, different destination to go to. The facilities that you'll have there are not going to be up to your usual Central America, Caribbean islands kind of stuff. So I would warn you for that. But overall, you will be very safe. Somebody asked me if they want to should they take a GoPro to record sites for my first visit to the UK. If you want to take a GoPro, go right ahead. But the thing is most likely you want to spend your time enjoying your sites instead of worried about the GoPro. So that'd be one thing I'd do. Now, Kathleen Ting asked me, that's one of my students, can you talk a bit about the STP process? So STP, segmentation, targeting, positioning. So segmentation is when you divide up your market. So like, for example, my segments that I have people that want European travel videos. I have people that want to have Asian travel videos, ones that want US travel videos, people that want food videos. So I divide them up into different kind of travelers that I'd be looking at, okay? Now, if there's one I want to target, like the one I want to focus on, so let's say I want to target the German market, okay? So that I make Germans auf Deutsch in German, and so I do things to target them, to go for them, because that's the market I want to have, and then I would position myself to make it what they would want. So the German market would want videos in German, things that are important to Germans and things like that. So I hope that helps you out, Kathleen. There will be, that's on the second exam. You got any more worry about that. This first exam, not too much to worry about on it, okay? Now, back to travel. Have I been to Banff, Canada? I have not been to Banff yet. There's a lot of people that have asked us to go. We almost did get there when we were in Vancouver, but we couldn't get it over there with the timing, so went down to Seattle. Next one, Gina wants to know about the Ansoff Matrix, because again, this is office hours too, so I'm trying to combine two of these things. So Gino, basically what you're looking for there is, it's called a growth matrix. How can you grow your business? And sometimes you want to, it was called market penetration. You want to sell more of your old products to your old customers. So what can I do to get my current customers to buy more of my products? So maybe a loyalty program or something like that. If you want to sell more of your old products to new customers, what you do is market development. So, hey, where should I go to sell these? So like Culver's went from Wisconsin, where they were, to Illinois, because it was a kind of a market we knew, and we're probably going to be okay. Then you have what's called product development, and this is when you develop new products for your old customers. So you're talking to them and seeing what they like and what they want. Like, that's why we ask our fans, you watch our videos, where do you want us to go? And so then we go on trips that our fans want us to go on, and we're delivering them what they want. And so that's a product development thing. So right now we're having a poll going about where we should go for a weekend away, just Jocelyn and I. So we'll go there where our fans vote, because that's what they want. So we have that. Then diversification is doing something totally crazy. Like all of a sudden we did like tours or something like that, something we've never done before. So I hope that helps. So Cuba's next month for me. Cool. Good to hear. Hi from Argentina, Lancia fan. Hey, good to see you again. Hey, morning from Australia. So our Australian friends, I tried to do this a little bit later so we can get you some stuff too. Because I know Australia, a lot of times it's like 2 a.m. when we do these things. So I'm trying to get some different times on these live feeds so we can help out travelers from all over the world, not just like in the central US, but wherever we can go. So we have that. What are the worst international airlines experiences you've experienced? From Jersey Joe. I would say probably on airlines that I've been freaked out that, they weren't keeping up the safety of the planes and stuff. That's been one of my bigger fears. But overall, I've had too many issues going around the world. I mean, I remember one time, the first time like 20 years ago, when I went to Cusco, Peru, and the seat I had in the plane didn't have a seatbelt. Like, I'm like, is this normal? Oh, like, just move to another seat. It's fine. So that was one of those like weird things. Okay, so Lewis Tours videos. Hey, Mark, what would you run most in New York City? My family's looking at New York City for likely a vacation spot next summer. Look, New York City, the Metropolitan Museum is fantastic. Go do that. The Natural History Museum is fantastic. You're going to be doing a ton of walking when you're there, so get your kids ready. So you should be doing walks yourself, like do family walks and stuff like that. Get yourself used to that, especially kids that are not used to walking for a couple miles. They may have the energy, but they might not. So just have a heads up for that. Gretchen Elizabeth, I'm glad our videos can help. That's really cool. Tips to all the UI students, University of Illinois students. No. Viking Turtle, U of I students, you do not have to send a tip. Don't do that. Don't do that. You're fine. So my friends from South Germany, Grüß Gott. I hope everything's going well. We're going to be back in Germany next year, so really excited for that. You might see my mom there actually earlier wandering around Bavaria and around those places, so say hi to her if you see her. Chile, yes, I have been to Chile. Really cool time. One of the best places in the world to see the sunset, honestly. Actually, one of my favorite places was La Calma. It was just like so chill, so chill. What do we think of Quebec City? Quebec City is actually a really great place. If you're going to go anywhere in Canada, that's actually my favorite city to go because it's got the most unique culture of the whole country. So definitely a place to go. Donald asked me, do I use specific reward credit cards? I actually use Delta, the American Express from Delta, to get their points there. I used to use United's Visa, but then we don't use United anymore, so we switched over to Delta all the time. So we do that. But anytime you use a credit card, do the one that's right for you. So if it's an airline one, make sure it's an airline you're going to use a lot. If it's not an airline you're going to use a lot, then it's not worth getting it. You're better off getting like a one that gives a really high like pays you back 2 or 3% on your cash back kind of stuff. You're going to be better off doing that. And yes, I did enjoy Kansas City, Donald. Thank you for that. I'm trying to get down to seeing my student stuff. Is Estonia safe to visit? Yes, you should be fine there. Don't worry. It's a really cool place. Like the capital of Tallinn's one of my favorite cities to go see in Europe, and it's really cheap. Well, not really cheap, but it's the most expensive for the Baltics, but it's still relatively affordable. But it's got an incredible old town to go check out. Also, go to the islands when you are there. That is really cool. Hey, Aaron, good to see you there. Hold on. Can you overinvest, hold, divest? Hold on, where'd that one go? See, I'm trying to scroll through this because usually I have Jocelyn doing one thing and I'm doing another thing. So let me get back to that one. Is Venice overrated? Not when in terms of the number of tourists are there. It's insane, okay? So do have a heads up for that. Now, there's a student question. I got to help my students. Can you go over when to invest, hold, and divest? So, Brian, there's a video that goes over all that stuff. If you go over the GE Matrix, watch that video. I'd watch it at double speed. You can get through it all the best. But basically, when you invest, what you're looking at is when the industry is looking very attractive and your business unit is very attractive, those are the ones where you're going to keep on investing. When one of the things are really, really bad, that's when you're going to start thinking about the divester. That's why it's kind of like you have the 3 top corners for invest, the 3 bottom corners, a kind of thing for divest, and through the center is the hold. But watch the video on that, and that'll take care of it for you. Can you grade papers just as easily abroad? Yes, I can. Any advice on surviving long layovers without a lounge access? I always bring a couple extra backup batteries in my backpack to make sure I have battery charging stuff, because sometimes it's not easy to find battery chargers and plugs at airports. Now they're getting better, but that's one thing I always take with me is a couple of those things with me. And if you get the good ones that have as much charge as you can, so you're going to be spending 100, 150 bucks to get a really good one that has enough charge, like long-term charge, that's going to make a difference for you, okay? Best only adult resort in Mexico, crazy family show. I don't know. Because when I've gone down there, we've usually taken the family, so I do not have one for that. I do apologize. So there is that. Will I come back to Uruguay sometime soon? Probably not soon, but we still have a few more Uruguay videos to go, so we will have that. Anthony McIntosh, how do you learn new languages? What I recommend, first off, take it seriously. So take a class, your local community college or your school, take that class there, because you're going to learn the basic structures. Because memorizing a phrase book, you only learn the phrases and how you're supposed to answer it back. Taking a class teaches you how to talk to people, so you learn how to make your own sentences and make your own stuff. So that's one thing. Take it seriously. Another thing is read the newspaper, because usually newspapers aren't really written for a high level of education. It's more of like 8th grade education kind of stuff. So everybody can read it. It's not really a problem. So I would always read the Spanish newspaper or the German newspaper or something like that. The Bild, it's kind of a like a National Enquirer kind of stuff. Makes it really easy for you to kind of catch things. And also, if you can do a tandem where you have someone that you speak your language and help them learn theirs, and they speak their language to help you learn theirs, that really has helped out for me a lot of times. Also, watching The Simpsons in that language really has helped, okay? Mark, do you like Argentina? I do like Argentina. I have to get the videos out for them. I've got a bunch of them coming. So do you have those? Lisa, do you have any tips for the exam tomorrow? Watch the videos, okay? I sent you all an exam study guide with all the videos there, all the main stuff, the questions, they're coming from the videos and the slides. You'll be fine. There's even a video telling you how to study, so you'll be ready to rock and roll, okay? I'm trying to get down here. Hey, from New York City, good to see you, Nick. Madrid and Rome, you're going to love it. November, bring like a light jacket, otherwise you're going to be fine. Maybe Madrid. Madrid might actually be cold, actually, so a couple days before you go, check the 10-day forecast, get you an idea, okay? Viking Turtle, we getting college credit for watching this? Sure, why not? You get a thumbs up credit. How's that? Let's see. Best Asian city. Jocelyn would say her favorite city we visited, because for Asia, all we've gotten, I worked in China, taught in China, and we did a time in Japan as well. For me, Xi'an was my favorite city. I love Xi'an in China. That was just amazing, seeing the terracotta soldiers and all those things and the history there. For Liam, it's Tokyo. That kid is still like, can we go back to Tokyo now? For Jocelyn, it was Shanghai. For Caleb, I'm not sure. He's kind of liked them all. So you have that. Let's see. Ever been to the Southern Caribbean? Ever flown Turkish Airlines? I have flown Turkish Airlines. They were fine when I flew them, and they've tried to up their game to be a lot nicer, so I've heard good things about them too. The Southern Caribbean, Joss and I are looking to go there in April, so I'll let you know about it when we go there. Thanks, Shorty. So we have that. Now I'm going to see if I have some more students. Mark is such a great professor. Someone's going for extra credit, I can tell. Montreal's a good place. Oh, Kansas City. Hey, we had such a great time in Kansas City. Great barbecue, super clean city, like crazy clean. But the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum in Kansas City, go see that. That's one of the best new museums I've seen anywhere. How well it's put together. It is awesome. And the Nelson Atkins Museum of Art is probably one of the top 5 art museums in the U.S. So Kansas City is a really cool place. Hey, Frankfurt, Deutschland. Hallo, wie geht's dir denn? Alles klar? Gut. Ich freue mich, dass du hier bist. So we have that. Have I ever taken Greyhound across the country? Actually, at Greyhound, one of the representatives contacted us about doing something. We said, okay, we're interested in doing something, but we never heard back from them. So hopefully we'll get something from them soon. Milton, thank you, Milton. I appreciate it. And any of the super chats, thank you. I do really appreciate it. It does help us do our travels and stuff like that. And so we can do things like this and all kinds of stuff. It does make a difference. So thank you. But a week in Europe in January, cheap flights and going solo. What cities you suggest? I would do like Italy, southern Spain, Portugal, those ones you can get around, have a good time in January, and it's not too cold. Because you don't want to do like Greece and Croatia, because a lot of the stuff's closed at that time, so it's not really a fun thing to do. Northern Europe is just too cold, so just have a heads up for that one. Cannabis situation in Uruguay. This is actually a lot of people that don't know. Cannabis is actually legal in Uruguay, but it's only legal for legal residents. So as a tourist, you can't do it. You get arrested. Okay. All right, here we go. Brian, we got a question on the exam. On the practice test, it says there are 5 or 6 key success factors, but in the video, I believe it says there are only 3. So I was wondering what the correct answer is. Well, Brian, if you were in class when I went through the exams, you'd know you'd know that it's 5 or 6 key success factors for the whole industry. But what usually happens is companies can only focus on 1, 2, maybe 3 of them themselves because it's too expensive to do all 6. Okay, so that's where it kind of came from in the video. So I'll try to fix that in the video next time. But 5 to 6 key success factors for an industry, but firms only focus on 1, 2, maybe 3. Okay, so I hope that helps. Most overrated city in the U.S. If you talk to Jocelyn, she'd say Miami. For me, most overrated city in the U.S. I don't know really. I haven't really been too disappointed with any place. There's a lot of really great stuff. Like, we have Patrick here in Minnesota. Hey, I have been there. We actually have a 10 Shocks in Minnesota, and what to do in Duluth. So we got a few things there for that. Let's see what else. I'm trying to see if there's any more of my student questions here. A lot of Kansas City stuff. Man, Kansas City people, you guys got a great town. The Union Station there is insanely huge. Just walking into it is just amazing. Okay, about traveling with a handicap or limited mobility. So Kimberly, this is a question a lot of people have asked about, trying to get together some videos on disability traveling or limited mobility travel. We do have a couple videos on disability travel or limited mobility travel in Europe. I mean, I'm skinny, so it's a few years ago. But the advice I have on there for like a top 10 towns is helpful. Jocelyn is going around with her mom. She's gone from here in Illinois to Indiana to Vermont. And so her mom's broke her foot, so she's got like the wheelchair, not the wheelchair, the wheelie thing and crutches. And so Jocelyn's trying to put together one with like just tiny little bit of mobility issues. So we're trying to get more stuff like that. So there's like specialty issues or travel issues we haven't talked about that you think we should do. Please send us an email or send us something so we can try to get some more stuff so we can help some more travelers out there, okay? There was one person who wrote about the Sona experiments. They asked if I do a 60-minute one, does it count worth 1? And 30 is worth 0.5, or they still only 0.5% each. That you have to take up with the Sona people. I believe the 1-hour ones, that will give you 2 credits, so that would be 1%. I think that's what they did last year, but ask me in class, I'll write them directly too, but you can write them too. It usually is, the 60-minute one gives you the 2, and the 30 minutes it gives you the 1. Okay, so I hope that helps. Anna asked, what do I teach? I teach marketing. So there's that one. Are you fluent in any other languages other than English? A few, but only when we drink some or we're talking to people. Yeah, but when we travel, I like to speak the languages, so it's really fun. Hi, Professor Walser. Can I receive extra credit if I bring you a Butterburger from Culver's at the end of the semester? Sadly, no, they don't let me trade grades for Culver's. It would be nice, but no, they don't. You just enjoy that Butterburger for me, okay? Because I've obviously enjoyed a few too many. Mark, you convinced me to go to Argentina. I'm looking to spend a few days in Buenos Aires and Tierra del Fuego. Any travel tips for Argentina? Obviously, agree. We'll have a bunch of stuff coming out in Argentina probably in the next couple months. So just check out for those or write me on my Facebook, on our Wolters World Facebook page, a direct message, and I'll try to help you out that way. Would you ever go to Antarctica? Actually, we're looking to go there, do Tierra del Fuego, speaking of which, and going down to Antarctica in a couple years when Liam's a bit older. He's only 7 now, so we want to get him a little bit older because some of the tours don't let little kids go, so we have that. Okay, so Emperor King's worried about their wallet and iPhone in Barcelona. As long as you're paying attention, you'll be fine. There's enough people that don't pay attention that they'll go after them. Have I ever been to the UK? Yes, I actually dated a girl from the UK for 3 years, many, many years ago. And so I spent at least once a month for 3 years. I was going to the UK. Had a really good time. And we're actually going back soon as well. So we'll have some things like that. Okay, I'm looking for more student stuff. Does Brian have an attendance issues? Probably. Visa requirements for China, please. So what I would say, you do have to have a visa to go to China. I would go with a visa provider. That will make your life so much easier because they do all the work for you. Because there's so many hoops to go through. It's easy to pay. Have them do it. You FedEx it to them with all the documents. They FedEx back to you a few days later. It was really easy for us. That's what I would do. Some people keep asking about Mexico City. I would go. We're going to go to Mexico City probably early next year. I don't have a problem with it, but anytime you go anywhere, safety is always going to be something you got to look out for. So do your research before you go, okay? What's better to visit Urbana or Champaign? Champaign, of course. A good way to memorize the difference between market penetration and market development. So market penetration, it's just stuff you've already done. Okay, it's the same old thing. Okay, so it's the same old customers and it's the same old products. You're just doing that again. Whereas market development, you're going to a new market. You're developing a new market. It's like you're crafting a new one, so you're finding new places to sell. So that should help you out. I hope that helps, Zach. Oops. I'm going to the Orkneys in October. Any advice? I've never been there. Sorry, Wyatt, but if you go, please let me know, because I think next August my mom and I are looking to go on a trip, like a mother-son trip, actually to there. So I haven't started doing our studies up for it yet. So please do let me know. Thank you so much for the super chat. I just feel bad I don't have any advice to help you out. I'm sorry. I suck. Okay. Mark, have you ever been to Egypt? No, that is the one country I want to go to the most in the world I have not been to. So that means we've got to get there. All right. Let's say Emperor King, hey, you're very welcome. Hold on. Okay. Ever consider visiting the Philippines? Honestly, we pretty much consider to visit anywhere in the world. That is not a problem. We're happy with visiting anywhere. It really only comes down to safety stuff, and I'm not really worried about the Philippines. So they're like, when people go like, oh, you're going to go to North Korea? No, I'm not going to take my family to North Korea. But we go to the Philippines. It's a cool country with really nice people that really take care of their travelers when they're there. So definitely a place I wouldn't have a problem going to. Let's see. Cool stream, Mark. I'm in your 9 a.m. class. Enjoy the content. Thanks, Alex. I appreciate it. Good luck tomorrow, by the way. Shouldn't be too bad. It's the easiest test of the semester, so you'll be fine. Just watch those videos. And you'll be okay. Anonymous Automaton. Are you a bot? Norway versus Sweden. I would probably go with Sweden over Norway. It's a little bit less expensive, but it feels like there's more tourist stuff to do in Sweden. Though Norway definitely has some much more dramatic scenery to check out. So if you have that. If you had 7 days to go anywhere in Europe in the fall, what would you do? Ooh, fall. Actually, Ireland around Halloween's pretty cool because Ireland really celebrates Halloween, so that's kind of a cool thing. Yeah, but man, fall. I usually stick to Great Britain and Northern Ireland, Republic of Ireland at that time, just because it's much. I like fall here in the U.S. and it gives me a nice feel for that. But of course, you're getting in Germany in late September. I mean, I can't beat Oktoberfest. Hi, Mark. Best regards to South Germany. From the Schwaben region, did you try Spätzle? Of course I've had Spätzle. Who doesn't have Spätzle? My grandma used to make that stuff, okay? Actually, my great-grandma apparently only spoke German, though it didn't get passed down to her, my grandma, or my dad, or anyone. So I actually had to learn German in school, and I did my master's in Germany, and then I learned my German there. And I had a German girlfriend, actually, and tried to learn German for her. And I took a surprise German course before I went to go see her in Germany. And when I showed up, she goes, you sound like a jerk when you speak German. I had one class, okay, like German 101. I never spoke German with her again. And so I would speak to her friends in German when I got to speak it well. And then, but I wouldn't speak with her because it was like, okay, I won't do that. Oh, thank you, Erica. I really appreciate that. Thank you. You have a great night, too. Do you need a travel adapter to Puerto Rico if you're coming from the U.S.? No. Hey, from Brazil, Baldwin. Bem-vindo. Bem-vindo ao meu YouTube Live. Mark, how did you enjoy Frankfurt, Germany? Honestly, I'm not a big fan of Frankfurt. There's some couple cool museums to check out there, and they have the historic center part you can go to that's been rebuilt and have the apple wine. But most of the time, Frankfurt's more your landing in Germany point to go explore more. There's some really good wine towns to go check out by there, though, too, so it can make a good base for you. Greece versus France in soccer, France. In anything else, it must be Greece. Otherwise, my wife will kill me. Would you visit the Solomon Islands? Yes, I would. Have you ever visited Rhode Island? Yes, I was there a couple years ago. Actually, if you're in Rhode Island, there's a big, huge Portuguese population, so you get some really awesome Portuguese food when you are there. The ginger. Let's see. Visiting Italy for 14 days. Top 3 cities. Rome is great. I actually really like Ravenna, Italy, which is on the East Coast. Definitely a cool place to check out. It's got Byzantine churches, so from the year 500. Not 500 years ago, but year 500. Amazing stuff to see, and very few tourists are going there. That's a really cool place. I mean, I could say Venice, but it's so overrun with tourists now that it might not be a really great time. Same thing with Florence. So you might be better like staying in Lucca and then doing a day trip to Florence and going back. So that would be something I'd look out doing. Travel Sharks, do you watch Game of Thrones? Oh, did you see me in the first season? Yes, a lot of my students always say I look like the king in the first season, so it's kind of funny. Next up, countries most similar to the U.S. besides Canada, I'd say the UK and Germany. and Ireland would be the three ones that are most similar. Let's see if I have any more student questions. I'm glad I pronounced your name correctly. Have I ever been to Brazil? Yeah, I actually lived in Brazil for a time. Luke asked, how did you meet your wife? We actually met in high school at like in the backwoods. Like, when you're like, 16, you go in the backwoods and meet your buddies back there and stuff. It's someplace called the beach. But of course, we lived in Illinois, so there was no beach. It was just a creek. And then we talked again years later, and we started meeting. We actually have a video that talks about it. And she'll tell you, I thought he was an ass when we first met, but it all worked out in the end. So we have that. So there's that one. But we do have a video on that. Just look at how Mark and Jocelyn from Wolters World met. It'll pop up on YouTube. Okay, Alexandre Anani writes, hey, Mark, what about sports events? US Open, ATP Finals in London, things like that. I've actually gone to a few. I went to the WTA Finals when they were in Madrid one year. I've been to a few World Cup qualifiers and European Cup qualifiers and stuff like that. It's actually a really cool experience. And when I'll take my students abroad on trips, we try to go to a soccer match or something like that so they can see what it's like to go to a game there and how it's different than going to a game in the U.S. Because the thing is, when you go to a game in the U.S. for football or baseball or whatever, there's so many other revenue streams for the firms to make money from selling food, high-end food, expensive food, beer, stuff like that, and the shirts and stuff. Whereas you go to Europe to those games, you don't have as many of those revenue streams. So you go to the game to watch the game in Europe. Whereas you go to the game in the U.S., it's more to have the experience, but happens to have a game there at that time. Let's see. I'm trying to get down. So you mentioned traveling to Hanover, Germany. Do you like it? Lived there a few months, but doesn't seem like a great tourist destination. Exactly. It's not a great tourist destination, but it can be a good thing to go to the Harz Mountains. That's really cool. Goslar, Vennegoode, Quellenberg, or Luneburg, which is also near there. There's some really nice, cute, small towns by there, but not Hanover itself. There's some stuff to see. I got good friends there that work at Volkswagen, so I always, when we're going by, I always stop by and see my buddies Jen and Frank. So gotta give my shout outs to them. I teach marketing, Benjamin. So hold on, I'm trying to scroll up and see if we have anything. Hi from Houston. Hi to say hi to you. Dubic round trip tickets are only one way. We always buy a round trip, but what we'll do is we do multi-city tickets. So like we'll fly into London and then we'll fly out of Rome. So then I don't have to come back all the way to London and lose a day doing that. It might be the same price or sometimes cheaper or sometimes a little bit more expensive, but I always found it easier to fly into one city in a new country and then fly out of a different one in a different country when I do that, just to save on time and money. Have you ever witnessed Gaelic, Irish, or Scottish being spoken? Yes, and I had absolutely no idea what was happening. I used to hang out with some Welsh people when I lived in Germany, and that was their secret language. So if they ever want to talk about us, they just start speaking Welsh, and we're all like, I have no idea. Favorite city in Spain? Ooh, that's a tough one. Cordoba or Valencia? Those are my two favorite ones. I really enjoy, but I enjoy a lot of Spain's a really great country. It used to be really, really popular. It's kind of fallen in its popularity, but it still is a wonderful place to go. Awesome people, really nice people, cool sites, affordable on your wallet, and a lot of people learn Spanish in school, so it's a nice way to practice and bring it back. So that is cool. What's Jocelyn's connection to Savannah? She lived there for 10 years. She went to Savannah College of Art and Design. Hey, Mark, I'm moving to Georgia. Country, not state. Ooh, any plans to visit? Eventually, we are going to get that part of the world, but we haven't been there yet, but we will get there. Hold on, try to see if any students have written anything. Would I go to the World Cup? Heck yeah, I'd go to the World Cup. I'd go to any game. I'd see the lamest game ever, just so I could say I went to the World Cup. Let's see. I don't have my trainer, but I have my glass of water. That helps. Okay. Have you been in the countries in Eastern Europe? Yes, Vlad, I actually lived in Lithuania for 3.5 years. And when I was there, I got to work in Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania. We worked with companies that were in Russia, Belarus, got to go to Poland, stuff like that. It was a really cool experience. I've been there. We traveled quite a bit back in the day. I want to get to Ukraine and down in there. Like, first talking about Georgia. I want to get some more stuff there. So that's on the farther down the field, but it's in the pipeline to go. So we do have that. Let's see. Have you ever been to Monterrey, Mexico? I have. My dad used to work there, actually. We had some good times back in the day. It was like 20 years ago when I was a kid going down there. Always a good time. That's why I'm such a huge fan of Mexico. The people are always so awesome when you go down there. I could never say anything bad. It's such a fun time. Such wonderful people. Travel Sharks. Who are your favorite travel YouTube vloggers? There's actually quite a few good ones out there. I've been watching. I always like Gabriel Traveler because he gives like really like he does the cheap stuff and he shows you what it's like to do it. He doesn't mince words. I like him a lot. Flying the Nest. They're kind of a newer one from Australia. I really like them. They're like really nice people that do stuff with Away Mag. They're Josh and Ashley. They're really nice and they're helpful stuff. And so some good ones out there. And they got the older ones as well that are fun, to go see. I always like the Vaga Brothers. They do some nice stuff because they really try to help people out. And that's what I look for. I don't look for backflips and drone footage all the time. Like, come on, drone footage, I can get that from National Geographic. It'll be even better. Backflips, the Olympics are every 4 years. I'll be fine. So I like to watch travel vloggers that really try to help other travelers travel better. And so that's what I really go for. Do you guys want to go to Morocco? Yes, we're actually going to Morocco later this year. So we will be there. Austin, Texas, we had a good time this year. Actually, Jocelyn and I got to do a trip together there. So it's a very special place for us. We actually got to go someplace, just the two of us. The 4E mark. Okay, so Zach. Okay, we got a question. Sorry, Zach, it's taking this long. So Zach writes, the 4E of marketing. I'm going to tell you the 4E marketing framework for social media. Distinguish experience versus engage. They seem almost the same to me. So experience is when you're doing the social media posts, like, for example, on my travel videos, I'm helping you experience Venice without going there. So you can decide if you want to do it for you. So you can kind of live my trip and see that it's for you. Okay, so you have the experience side of it. The engage part of it is if you watch our video, I say, hey, don't forget to click like and subscribe. That engagement part is trying to get somebody to do something. Okay, so I hope that helps, buddy. Jason, have you ever flown Lufthansa before? Dude, I did my master's in Germany. I flew Lufthansa so many times. It's like I speak German, okay? So I've done them quite a bit. Does anyone really speak French anymore in Louisiana? There's some people, like the French tourists that go there. There are some, but it's not like it used to be. It's like a lot of places, the dialects and stuff has kind of fallen out, these kind of things. But you still find it some places, but it's not like you're going to see it all over the place. Let's see. So Days with Jordan the Lion. I want to take a trip the second week of November. Your thoughts on Montreal or Paris? I'm deciding between these two. I would always go Paris. Paris is one of my favorite cities in the world. Okay, I'm going to say that right there. There's so much more to do than in Montreal. There's so much more culture to see there. I mean, Montreal is a cool city. Don't get me wrong, but it's not comparing the same things. Like it's like Paris or Montreal. I mean, Montreal's great, but Paris is way better. And I mean, you'll have better weather in Paris probably too. But you can have a good time in both, but I would definitely go with Paris because also that time of the year in November, you're not having a lot of tourists that are going to be in Paris at that time, so you can get some decent deals and you can get some decent, like lines when you're there, okay? Do you know the YouTube channel Geography Now? Yes, I do. I watched some of their videos. They're pretty nice. I mean, I've enjoyed their stuff. I mean, there's some really good things out there. I watch science videos too. Actually, I'm going to be doing a couple collab videos with science stuff talking about space travel and interstellar travel, like kind of a fun thing out there. So look for those coming out in the next couple months. So we're trying to do more of those. Anonymous Automaton, did you know that Rick Steves is a pothead? Yes, he does. He does talk about legalization all the time in his stuff. I've noticed that. He does talk about that quite often. So Denzel Modest, have you ever been to Egypt? No, I want to go. So when I go, I will let you know. Don't you worry about that. Yeah. Oh, Canvas. Yeah, we're going to go to Morocco. Yes. Okay. Let's see. Let's see if we have some more questions down here. Because I'm trying to scroll up because it's like my screen is different than your screen, so I'm trying to get everything good here. What's the most interesting souvenir you've bought? Well, right now what we always buy is we buy paintings when we travel, and then we just have them framed. So we find local artists. Like there's a local artist there, and there's a local artist there, and like we'll get that frame. So we have like a €5 to €20 or $5 to $25 painting, but we'll make it nice in our house so we can enjoy our travels. But I think my favorite souvenir I ever bought, I gave to my brother for Christmas one year. And I was in Bolivia, and I got this big, huge picture, which was a guy, and it was a fertility picture, and it had a very large part of this man on it. And I gave it to my brother when he was first engaged with his now wife. And I was like, oh, it's a fertility gift. They're like, we don't want kids yet. But it was just such an awesome gift that I was really happy I could give it to him. So I think it's still in his office somewhere. Probably his office at home, not his office at work, but it's pretty funny. So David Johnson, I'm from San Diego, living in Seattle now, and your video is perfect. Alderbrecht is the best Mexican food ever. Yes. So David Johnson's talking about this place we went to in the Five Eats of San Diego, and they have this thing called carne asada fries. You can get a lot of places, but it's French fries, carne asada, queso on top, guacamole. Oh my God, sour cream. It's like one of those things you have to eat when you're there. And when you think of California, you think healthy food. That ain't healthy food, but it is so good. Let's see. I'm trying to scroll down to see any more students. Let's see. Have I ever been to a big U.S. sporting event? No, I just been to normal ones like normal baseball games or football games, stuff like that. Never like a playoff or a Super Bowl or anything like that. How are the kids? The kids are good. Caleb is studying for a test on Canada, so we've been going through the provinces and the capitals and the Mounties and stuff like that. Liam is reading in bed because he was tired, so he went upstairs with his dinosaur book, and he's reading about dinosaurs to himself, so they're doing good. Oh, Alex, Whataburger or In-N-Out? Man, that's some controversy there. They both are quite tasty, but I got to go for the Whataburger spicy ketchup. Sorry. But In-N-Out Burger, you can't go wrong. It's like, what do you like? Which child do I like best? You can't say that. You love them both. So you have that. Let's see. Going down more. I'm trying to see if there's any students that have their stuff here. Do you drive everywhere you go? No, we fly. We fly most places, and I like to use public transportation so I can look out the window and see the countries and stuff like that. Now, when we go to places like Ireland and Scotland or in the U.S., most of the time we do drive because those places to really enjoy the country, you got to drive. So it really depends when you have that. So Showcat, I love your don't videos. Thank you. We're going to have a lot more coming. I've got a bunch of don't videos. I've been so overrun with work and all my other stuff. I haven't got a chance to really get those because those ones take a long time to edit together. So we will get some coming. Don't worry. I got a bunch coming. I got one I did on Amtrak, the U.S. train carrier. And everyone I think about when I made it, I just keep laughing. So I got to get that one out soon. Let's see. Moving on. Iceland was amazing. Yes, it is amazing. True. So trying to go down. See any students. Okay, so the champ favorite credit card rewards program. We talked about that earlier in the video. My favorite city I've visited so far. I'm old fashioned. Paris, Rome, Prague. They give me right here. I just love them. Xi'an, I love Xi'an. A lot of really cool places. How corrupt is Eastern Europe in terms of shakedowns? Sam, I was shook down quite a few times in Eastern Europe when I worked there. Usually wasn't very much money, but it did happen. Cops, in Russia and Lithuania, and those things happened. But it's not as much as it used to be. Like since Lithuania's, Estonia's, Lithuania's, Latvia's, Poland joined the European Union, that's really come down a lot. So it's very different than it was even a few years ago. So there is that. 5 must-eats of Shambana. Pappardell's pizza. You got to have that stuffed pizza. You got to have the Russell, which is a bacon cheeseburger with blue cheese sauce at Farron's. You got to go to Jarling's Custard Cup and get their custard with cold fudge and marshmallow. There's 3. Go to get a Riggs Hefeweizen from Riggs Brewery. And number 5, I'll have to think about it. There's El Patio, my favorite Mexican place. They're awesome. But yeah, there's my 5. What else? Let's see. I got to go through more stuff. Ever been to the American University in Rome or Paris? No, I have not. Okay, so Lucas has a good question. Lucas says, which cities in the U.S. are essential to truly experience American culture? The thing is, American culture is so many different cultures. If you go to the big cities in the U.S., you will have the big city culture. If you go to the small towns, you have the small town culture. What I usually tell people to do is, since you're going to drive in the U.S., you're going to try between a couple big cities, pick some small towns on the way. Even if you're just driving through to see the town square and stuff like that, it gives you a whole different perspective on the U.S. than if you're flying into Chicago, then to go to New York, then go down to New Orleans. Okay, so I would just definitely try to just get off the highway for a bit. Favorite tourist attraction in Rome? There's so many. Just the city, walking around. I mean, I always feel like I got to throw my coin in. Trevi Fountain just to get back. So there's that. Jason, dude, favorite Nordic country? I have to go Finland because I lived there for a year. So there's that for me. But for a tourist, I'd probably say Sweden. There you go. Sarah, you did make it. I'm glad to see you here. Recommended Swiss cities. For me, Lucerne is my favorite city in Switzerland because it's got the nature. You got this beautiful old town. There's all kinds of really great stuff to see. So definitely go for that one. Thanks, Mark. When do you come from Europe? Your souvenirs are more food and wine. Yes, I have a lot of food and wine right here. I brought home as souvenirs, so we do have that. Um, let's see. Have you seen Drew Binsky? No. I know the name, but I don't know him so personally. So there's that. Um, let's see. Oh, Don. So going to London for 3 days before a British Isle cruise in June 2019. What would you recommend to do or not miss in this limited amount of time? So with 3 days, the first day you're going to be kind of tired when you fly in, but the British Museum, go see the Rosetta Stone, go see the parts of the Parthenon from Greece, from the Acropolis. That's actually there at the British Museum. Go see that. But the British Museum is number one. That's the thing you got to go see. If you're going to spend money, go to the Tower of London. It's a little pricey, but it's worth going to. That's another thing to do. The corniness, but the one thing you got to do is to see the change of the guard at Buckingham Palace. That's really cool. But there's so many places to go around London. You can walk around. Do not do the Madame Tussauds. It's really expensive, and I know it's really worth it when you got so many other museums you can go to instead. So I hope that helps out, Don, and thank you very much, Don. I really appreciate that. Super Chat really does help us out, and I just want to say thank you. So that is really cool. Thanks. And I would say you're going to spend a lot for hotels anyway. So I get a hotel in a location, buy some stuff you want to see, so you can just walk. So you don't have to do like the £3 or $5 tube rides sometimes. So just have a heads up for that one. Favorite fast food restaurant? Culver's. Okay, my students can answer that one. They probably just yelled that one out loud. Quincy Kaufman, how do you find good fares? Well, good airfares, we have to realize is we have a video on the 6 reasons why you never get the cheap ticket. For us, what I look for is you got to be flexible with when you want to go and where you want to go. Maybe you don't get to go to Stockholm, but maybe you get a cheap flight to Helsinki with Finnair, and then you take the ferry over or something like that. You got to be really flexible with it. But if you have kids like we do, I mean, you're stuck paying high prices going in the summer. But if you're not, like if you don't have any kids, your kids are young or they're out of school, fly into September, October. You can still get decent weather in Europe and get low prices. You can go someplace in February. It's like next to nothing to go. So there is some really cool stuff. Okay, I'm looking back for students if they wrote anything. Favorite fast food joint? Culver's, of course. Okay, is the Hofbrau Beer House worth visiting when in Munich? As a tourist, yes, it's just a fun experience to go. But realize there's a lot of other beer houses and beer halls in Munich you can go to that are a lot more probably authentic. But it's just such a tourist. It's like going to Disney World for beer people. You got to go at least once and have a nice time and sit with people you don't know and do the chicken dance or the duck dance kind of stuff. So there are those things. Oh, Zvies, I'm glad our videos could help you with all the places you traveled to Berlin and Lubeck. Oh, Lubeck, oh, that's cool. I'm glad you got there. Netherlands, Brussels. I'm glad we could help out. Hold on, I'm losing you. Oh, Burgundy. Oh, one of the parts of France I haven't been to and I need to go. So you tell me because I want to go. Let's see. Okay, I'm trying to see if there's any student ones. Mark, I'm going to move to Berlin, student from Frankfurt. Good for you. Awesome city to live in. Berlin is an awesome city. Awesome city to live in. So much fun. Laura Wetzel, Lambert's Cafe, home of the thrilled rollers. Oh, yeah, I've been there many, 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 many times as a child and as an adult. So, yes, it's one of our stops when we're going down. Is it 57 when it comes down there? When the 2 highways come together, we'll turn up to go up to Lambert's. So that's always a nice thing. If you're not sure, Lambert's Cafe is this restaurant in Missouri. I'm sure there's another one. But they throw rolls at you across the restaurant. And it's kind of one of those like silly American things you see on TV all the time. Time for a kiss. Which country has the funniest people, including the U.S.? I would say the ones that surprise you the most with their humor is actually the Dutch. The Dutch have this dry sense of humor, but sarcastic at the same time. Jocelyn will say the same thing to you. They're just hilarious in terms of how they make their jokes. But also Brazilians are pretty funny as well. Darth Cookie, can you speak German? Ja, ich kann schon Deutsch. Ein bisschen. Es geht noch, aber es ist noch nicht fleißig. Fleißig, weil ich kein, I don't speak German too much anymore, so I just need a little practice. Hopefully they'll come back. Few Bier, ein paar Bierchen, es kommt durch. So let's see. How do people in Japan view American tourists? Honestly, when we were in Japan, Alex, people didn't even care that you were tourists. They were just going all about their lives. Other places would talk to tourists. It was very much like, hey, you do your thing, we'll do ours. But they would very much help out anytime we needed it. It was cool when we were in Japan. When people would come up and just want to practice their English with us. So we were on trains. People get out their book, practice, they'd come talk with us. They get their 5 minutes time in it, and then they'd leave. It was really nice. And so people were really, really welcoming and stuff. So it was kind of a cool thing. Zach, I hope that helped, buddy. I'm glad. I know you're going to ace it. I believe in you. If not, remember there's Sona experience for extra credit. Okay, so you'll be okay there. And good luck tomorrow, man. And just watch the videos that are on the study guide. Go through your slides. You'll be fine. I hope I don't give you nightmares when you hear my voice so much before you go to bed. So you have that. Oh, for those watching, my students, I make videos about the main topics from our class. And so you might see a business video pop up. And so I watch the numbers, and it's like at 3 o'clock in the morning is when the videos peak, when my students have been watching the business videos, and then it drops off again. Then it starts up again at 8 in the morning. But it's pretty funny because like they're like really watching 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and then 4 o'clock is sleepy time. So it is kind of funny. Oops, wait, there was a student one. I'm a student. Where would you recommend Europe for 10 days break? If you're a student, for a student money-wise, Portugal, Spain, Greece, depending on the time of the year. Prague is also a really good one. It's still affordable to do. You have some of those things there. Croatia. Oh, yeah, Croatia's good. So you have that one. Is Coliseum overrated? It's for the line, yeah. If you can get in, if you get the time ticket and get in earlier, it's worth going to at least once. But, it is a cool sight to see. I've gone in probably 4 times. Would I go in again? With the right people, I would, but I've been there so many times, You know how it is. Hey, Mark, it's a good time to visit Europe in March. Yes, actually, we go a lot of times then. Mostly rain, not really cold, so you're usually fine. So I'm guessing that lower, that's the Lamberts is in Foley, Alabama as well. Okay. So Travel Sharks asks, what's the best piece of travel advice you've received? Travel. Just go. Just go experience. You never know what you're going to like. Like when I ended up living in Finland, I was supposed to live in Argentina, and I ended up in Finland. It was a great experience. As long as you get a chance to travel, go, so you can have a really great time. Not just a great time, but just you learn so much about yourself when you travel. It's a really cool thing. So best thing, just go. Quincy Coffin, best travel experiences ever. Liam. I got Liam from traveling, so we have that. We were traveling in Memphis at the time. Anyway, moving on. Indiana. There's one. Indiana, here are some of the places you go. Wheelchair-friendly travel. I know in Europe, I found that Northern Europe was much more wheelchair-friendly. But there's sometimes, like Denmark has a whole organization that helps tourists that go there to enjoy Dublin and wheelchairs and stuff like that. So that's kind of cool. I know in Ljubljana in Slovenia, they have, for if you're blind, all the sites have Braille there for you to read too. So there's different stuff you're looking for that can help out. There is that there. Do you think Russia's a safe place to go to? Depends where you're going. We've had good times, we've had bad times, but it's a fun place. People like talk really bad about Russia in terms of travelers and stuff, but we've had such a good experience when we're there. I can't really complain. Let's see. I got to look and see if any more of my students are there. Hi, Dallas. We're hoping to get there. Oh, hi, Professor Wolters. Can you briefly talk about the Porter's 5 competitive forces? So Madison, I have a really short video on the study guide that'll go through it. But basically what you're looking at is trying to get an idea of how an industry is and how likely it is like a new competitors are going to come in. Is it likely they're going to come in? Then it's like, oh, high threat. If it's not likely, it's a low threat. You look at substitute products. Like how likely are people going to switch from taking their car to taking the bus to work instead? So what's the chance they're going to switch? You're going to look at your suppliers. Like how much does Dell have to worry about Intel? Well, a lot, because the big price of your laptop is coming from that Intel Core i7 7th generation chip. So that's kind of a really influential part in your thing. So they're going to have more power over you. In terms of buyer power, the more information your buyer has, the more power they have over you, because you can't tell them, oh no, this is $10,000. Like, no, it's just online, it's 5. So you have that. So I hope that helps you give you a few ideas. But if you want like a more in-depth video, you can watch the video. I go through the whole stuff. So that should be a little bit more helpful. Then the exam will be more like, I'll give you a situation. You'll say high or low. And I won't make it like, it won't be super complicated. Like it'll be there for you. Okay. So I hope that helps, Madison, and good luck tomorrow. Okay. So okay. Wait, there you go. Priority pass card. Yeah, some of those things do help. We like TSA pre-checks helps, and global entry can help. That's nice. Which Southeast Asia country would be most interested in? My sister wants to go to Thailand. That's mine. Jocelyn wants Vietnam. So we're doing a Cambodia, Thailand, Vietnam, Laos. We're doing probably like a 3-month trip to do a bunch of stuff down there to really get a lot of stuff in. So we'll have those. Best pastry in Paris? All of them. What was traveling alone like? Honestly, I loved traveling alone when I was younger before I had Jocelyn and the kids. It was cool to meet new people. Now when I travel by myself, I meet nice people like Brad I met in Kansas City, super nice guy. And we meet people and we see our friends. But yeah, it's when you had a family, you like want them there to experience it too. But traveling alone, I actually really enjoyed it back in the day because I met so many cool people, and it was really nice to do what I wanted to do versus like, oh, you want to see this today and I don't want to, but we got to do your thing. So that's one of those things there. Top 3 countries where you met the most vegans. The US, the UK, and Germany were the 3. Actually, I think if you're a vegan, I think Germany's and the UK are 2 of the best countries to go to because there's so many stuff. Because in Germany, they'll actually label all the stuff and all the kinds of stuff. It was really nice because I've traveled with students that were vegans before, and they had a lot easier time in Germany getting stuff. So time for a kiss. I hope that helps. Let's see. What is product line extension? So product line extension is if you put more, how do I say this? So your product line, like I make cereal, okay? So on a product line extension, I'm gonna add another thing onto that. So we're gonna have a product line extension for our Fruit Loop cereal. We're gonna have a line extension where we're gonna make Fruit Loop bars, okay? So we're gonna have some extra stuff there, okay? But those product line extensions, those kind of things, that's going to come up in the next exam, and I'll have a whole class on that. There's whole videos for it, so we'll get those things too. Let's see. Do a shot every time Mark says there is that there. Yeah, or when I say okay in the videos, like that's the worst. And if you ever saw the unedited videos, when I mess up, I say sorry to myself because I film with a tripod. So sorry, okay? Think about that. Anyway, toughest countries to get a visa for. U.S. Actually can be a very tough one. China, Russia, but those would be the ones I would say. Let's see. Is it difficult to go sporting events in Europe? Actually, if you're from the U.S., I find sporting events in Europe a lot cheaper to go to. One, because you're not buying all the extra stuff, but I find the tickets to be much more affordable for normal families to go. One of the reasons I don't take my kids to a lot of sporting events here in the U.S., if we go to a baseball game, I'm only dropping $100 on tickets at least, and then another $100 or $200 on food and drinks and stuff like that. A normal family can't afford that. But going to a Vicenza soccer game, well, yeah, I'm spending $20 on the ticket, or maybe $40 on the tickets, and then I can get a couple sodas, and it's not that bad. So I think it's a lot easier to go to those games and enjoy the sporting events in Europe than it is in the U.S., at least for your pocketbook. Now, that's for the high leagues. If you're going to like minor league stuff, that's different, but that's one thing I'd say. 5 a.m. Who's at 5 a.m.? Hold on, I'm going to see if I have more students. If I miss you. If I'm a student, put it down there at the bottom. I'm getting there. Does Iceland have vegan options? Iceland potato veggie options are going to be your most likely vegan options when you are there, Patrice. Sorry, because it's an island and stuff gets really expensive. But you can go to the stores and pick some stuff up. But it's not as common as it is like you'd find stuff in the U.S. or Germany or UK. But there is options, but it's not as much as you'd think. Hold on, let's see. Oops. Sarah Phillips, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thanks for being awesome and sharing your beautiful Jocelyn and adorable Liam and Caleb with us. I love your channel. So helpful and informative. Keep up the amazing work. Thank you, Sarah Phillips. That is very nice of you. I love them too. Jocelyn is having a nice time with her mom in Vermont. And I got us to give a shout out to Delta. The people were really helpful with her because her mom's got that little wheelie thing. People came out and helped. It was really nice. So, but thank you, Sarah. That's really nice of you. Thank you. Is Tokyo an international city like New York? Is it traditional Japan? Dude, Tokyo is its own crazy neon amazingness, okay? I wouldn't call it a traditional Japanese city, but you can see traditional Japanese stuff there. But it is just such a cool city to go to. But it's not like Kyoto. Kyoto's like more your traditional Japan. If you want to see a traditional Japanese kind of old school kind of thing. So you have that. So Todd asks, how much do college business courses help a student with real life business aside from having the degree itself? It actually depends on the classes you're taking and what job you end up. Like I have students that they use the stuff they learned in my class, like my capstone course, in their job every day. I have other students that have my class that never use it at all. It really depends on what field you end up going into, to be honest. that's why I like all these YouTube videos online. So if you need stuff, like if your mom's starting an Etsy store, you can find all the things you need online. And so you can do that. That's why I like having my business videos online too. So I can help out the small entrepreneurs and stuff like that so they can get their business started. So actually we have another channel called Professor Wolters. I just started like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. I'm going to be putting like all my business videos on there. So we're going to start filming new business videos and put it on there to help out, normal everyday people that want to like help with their business and stuff. So we're doing things there. Emma, have I ever been to New Zealand? Sadly, no, I have not. I want to, and we will get there. Don't worry. Okay. Maddie, I'm glad you love the videos. Thank you very much. Thanks, Lance. I appreciate that. Let's see if we got more students. When are you going to Poland? At Nordic Acts. It's going to be a bit of time, but we'll get back. I still have a couple Poland videos. I got I think a Don'ts of Krakow to put out and a what to eat in Poland video. So that'll be a fun one. So there's a couple more Polish videos to come, but I won't be back for a little while. Here's a good one. One asks how to pay your bills while traveling. So always set up for the online pay option so you can go online and pay it that way. Sometimes you can't. So what I'll do is I'll pay forward like an extra month or something like that when I know I can't get to it, like Comcast or something like that. But sometimes you don't have the money for it. So sometimes what I've done before is I will write the check out. I know what it's going to be, and I'll leave with a friend of mine and say, hey, I get paid on the 16th. Okay, so put this on the mail on the 17th so it gets there while we're gone. So you might have stuff like that, okay? Jim, been a subscriber for a few years now. Always interesting stuff. Thanks, man. I appreciate you sticking around for all these years. It means a lot to me. Thank you. Tanner, yes, of course we're interested in South Korea. So my dad actually used to work there, actually, for years. So there is that. So time for a kiss. Most people would pick Messi or Ronaldo. Well, I would have to go Ronaldo because my youngest son was born in Portugal, so CR7. I remember when he was 21. Okay, so so we have that. So we've always been there. Though he did play for Sporting, not SLB, so he has some things, but you got to love your Ronaldo. But I like Messi too, but it's Ronaldo. There's that. Let's see. Wait. Okay. Let's see. Auf Wiedersehen, Universal Reaper. I'm glad we can help with the videos and stuff. What cities do you recommend going to in Japan? If you only have like a week or 10 days, just doing Japan and Kyoto and doing some day trips, like Mount Fuji or something like that, or Osaka or something like that, is well worth it. You can pull that off. But if you want to go explore the more like ends of Japan, you're going to need more time for that. Aruba. Yes, Zach, I would love to go to Aruba. If you want to send us to Aruba, I would gladly go there for a romantic weekend away with my wife. Here's one. Steve writes, do you ever do a local meetups with your fans when you travel? I will bump into fans, and sometimes we'll do things like there was a really, really great guy. I don't know if you want to tell me his name, but if you look in my San Diego videos, Spencer Pablo from Spencer Pablo Photography, he's popped up. He wrote, like, hey, Mark, you're here. And we had talked a lot of times online. So I actually met up with him, and he showed me around. We did some really cool stuff together. But in general, we don't do too much meetups, especially with the kids, because there's been some attacks on YouTubers when they've done those things. So with the kids, it's kind of a safety thing. I love meeting fans. Like, you see us, come say hi. We always love talking to people because you're why we do this. We love helping other travelers. So thank you for all those travelers out there to say hi. But we haven't done too many meetups. Like, I might do one if I'm by myself, but if the kids are there, there's been too many weirdos. Like, you all are watching this and being nice and stuff, but we get some pretty messed up comments sometimes. We haven't had like the death threats for a couple years now, but we used to get some really bad stuff before and really horrible things. They call me a fat, you know what? I'll get over it. But then people make some really horrible comments about the kids and Jocelyn sometimes, and I'm like, yeah, no, we're not gonna get involved. So though there's awesome people like you that we don't always do the meetups. Sometimes we see them, it'd be cool, but it has been a safety thing for some time. So that's why we don't have so many of the meetups. Anyway, moving on. Going to Cuba or what? Yes, we're going to Cuba. Jocelyn and I are going to go there together. We're going to have our anniversary there. So we're going to have that next year. Where have you been that has the best food? Dude, there's great food anywhere. Go to grandma's house. Go to whatever country you're in and say, hey, can I go see grandma? Go to that house. Show the best food in that country. Period. End of story. Okay. Best currency for aesthetics, feel. I miss the peseta in Spain. They had a coin with a hole in it, and I used to that was like my go-to gift. I'd make necklaces back in the day for all my friends. Like, that was one thing I just missed that. I just missed that, the peseta with a hole in the middle. That was just something for me I just really, really liked. So there is that. Okay, Michael Cocker writes, what do you think of the digital nomad phenomenon? Hey, if you can do it, it's great. But the thing is, you'll see a lot of people end up going to Bali or these really cheap countries to go and live there because their money goes farther. And the thing is, if you're going to be a digital nomad, do you want to experience the culture or do you just want to live somewhere where it's cheap? And so when we travel, we want to experience things. So like I have a real job that helps us do these things. The digital nomad stuff, it can be a great thing if you can do it. Like, but I have kids. I mean, we've homeschooled our kids before, but my oldest one's 12. He wants to be on the soccer team, so he's got soccer practice and stuff like that. So we focus on that. But when I was younger, I would have loved to have been digital nomad kind of things. And maybe when the kids are in college, maybe we'll move on to that way. But it's cool that people can do that now. I think it's a really cool thing. Yes, Matt, we would go on a cruise. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or Muay Thai, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, because that one looks like it's a lot more painful. Patrick writes, I'm going to Munich and Paris this summer. My family hasn't planned where we're going in France before we go to Paris while traveling from Munich. Was wondering if you had any suggestions. When you come across, you could go over to Freiburg in southern Germany, southwest Germany, a really cute town to go there. And then when you come up, I would go to Strasbourg in France, beautiful city. That's where you're kind of crossing over and from Germany into France and seeing that, then it's an easy shot to Paris. Also, another one that's near the German border that's cool is Nancy. Nancy is really nice in France as well. Both really recommend those places. So Raiders asked, so you think Kyoto would be a better experience than Osaka? No, I think they're both great experience. Either one you go to, you're going to like. You'll be fine. Let's see. What was one? Most dangerous place you have visited in terms of crime? I think there were some parts in Brazil where we went that was probably pretty dangerous. There was one time when I was in Guadalajara. I was with some friends, and they're like, hey, if we run, you run, and if we get tackled, you just keep running. That was probably the scariest we ever, like I was when I traveled. I mean, I was like 19, 18, 17 at the time. So it's been quite a few years, but that was probably the scariest time. And then one time we thought we lost Caleb, but we didn't. But we're like, where is he? You have that parent scared kind of thing. Do you have a recommended gear for travel photography and video? Yes, if you watch any of our videos, we put our gear in the videos underneath. So I use a Manfrotto tripod because it collapses down so it fits in a backpack. So it's nice. We use a Sony Alpha 6000 camera because it's a good camera, but it's small enough that you can carry it around and not look like a crazy tourist with a big long lens. I mean, you can get the big long lens, but it works really well. So I use those. Those are things I usually use, and I'll use my phone for a lot of stuff too. Let's see. India. We will do India. I do have Emperor King. You're back. Thank you. We are looking at going to India. I've got a friend of mine who works there, and so he's wanted us to come visit. And I got a friend here that's wanted us to go, and he's got a company he works with over there. So we're now in the process of getting that one done. I thought about going in January, but my friend can't go then, so that got canceled. But yes, India is on the map. Don't worry about that. Hi, everyone in Sweden. We did have some self-defense. Jocelyn used to do a lot of self-defense because she's small and people like to give her shit. So she learned self-defense, and I remember when she was really good at it, she could take me down. So there is that. Alex Wright, is running with the Bulls in Spain worth it? It's an interesting thing to see. I saw a dude get his head smashed open, and so you could see I was good. But I was there where they were running around, the goes real near you. Again, this is when I was a lot younger and stupider, so hopefully I realized not to do that so much anymore. Anyway, let's see. So Teresa, I have not been to Aruba, but I would love to go there. So I can't give you any personal specific advice on it. I'm really sorry about that. So La Deloche, did you ever miss solo travel now that you have traveled with the family? How do you deal with it? I do miss it, but when I do travel actually, when I travel alone, I miss it when I leave. I'm sad to leave my family, and then I'll have like a couple days, 2 or 3 days. I'm like happy, and then I'm like, it'd be cool. Like the third or fourth day, I'm like, it'd be cool if the kids were here. It'd be cool if Jocelyn was here. Then like after like 10 days, I'm like, I miss you, babe. Wish you guys were here. So kind of like ebbs and flows. And like Jocelyn knows, like, oh, Mark, it's been 10 days. You miss me, don't you? I'm like, I miss you every day, babe, but I miss you a little bit more today. So there is that. But yeah, it's I do miss it sometimes, but on the other side, I want to show my kids as much as possible. Like my goal is to get the kids to, by the time they graduate high school, I want to get them to 100 countries, but not just to count, not to do bucket list stuff, but to actually go and experience them, go live in them, not go spend like a day there and leave and be like, oh, I've been there, check. That's one thing is I don't want the bucket list stuff where it's like, oh, I'm at Chichen Itza in Mexico, took the picture, boom, gone. No, I want to meet the culture, meet the people. That's why we have a lot of videos on Italy, because we go back again and again because we enjoy the culture and stuff like that. So we try to share that with everyone. So when you go, you can have more fun than just taking an Instagram. So there is that. Time for a kiss, man. Thank you. You're gonna put the kids through college. I appreciate that. What are some essential travel gear for you? For me, it's a good camera. Get a good thing for your phone to like cover for your phone so that it doesn't get broken. Excuse me. Osprey backpacks, I love them. Like I've got their Meridian. It's also on our videos. You can go order one through Amazon that way. But the Osprey backpacks, we use those because they have lifetime warranty. They fit well. You can carry a lot, and they have them size. They say it's going to fit in the overhead, and it does fit in the overhead versus like the bags that overextend. I love them. That's what I use all the time. Pepper spray you can't take everywhere, so you can't have that. Also, I bring a deck of cards because that's one thing you can play with people all over the world. It's a really great way to meet people. And also a bottle opener. Though you can't take the corkscrew on as a carry-on, so sometimes it's just a beer opener. So there is that. So here's one that's actually a good one. Deathlock Rocks 14. Is it safe for a black male to solo travel Europe? Any concerns with minorities traveling in Europe? I won't lie to you. I've seen a lot of racism, but I've seen a lot of racism everywhere in the world. I've seen more in Eastern Europe where you might want to be careful in smaller towns and medium-sized towns. In bigger cities, it's no big thing. I think you'll be fine. But in terms of like smaller towns in Eastern Europe, that's where I've seen more issues. I remember when I worked in Lithuania, there were some really big issues. But I mean, it's been quite a few years now, and it has improved, but it's not perfect. But you can still go and have a great time. So there is that. Let's see. So Chris went to Portugal because of our videos. I'm glad. I hope you had a good time. Hope that's a nice thing. Overrated cities in Italy. I think I can understand why people say Venice is overrated because it's just so many tourists that can really take away from your experience. But it still is a wonderful place to visit. Hey, what's up, Nathan? Good to see you. Pisa. No, Pisa is the most overrated city in Europe. In Italy. Sorry, because it really is the tower and people going like this. The baptistry is actually cooler than the Leaning Tower of Pisa. There's a couple nice museums there, but there's so many tourist traps there that Pisa's for me is the over the top one. Do I watch Rick Steves? Yeah, I watch him sometimes. He helps a lot of people travel and see the world, so I do watch some of his stuff. Hey, in Islamabad, nice to see you. I got a buddy of mine from there. Shabazz is a good man, so saying hi there. Let's see. Any crazy taxi driver stories? Dude, I got too many. Like, I got white knuckles. See how they're like this? It's from my years living in Portugal and with the taxis. They're crazy. Sujin writes, are there any cities visually impaired friendly? Like I said, Slovenia, they at least had all the descriptions for all the tour sites, had Braille as well, but otherwise, I can't say offhand. I'm sorry. I'm doing great too, Nathan. Thank you, man. Which country has the nicest people? Wow. That's tough to say. There's so many places with nice people. I can't even begin because people are great everywhere. That's one thing I think traveling shows you is there's wonderful people everywhere in the world. You just got to go and meet them and explore and see their countries. You realize, man, these people are really nice. And that's what's sad is when people have these bad impressions. Oh, the French are so rude. No, that's just the Paris waiters. The rest of the French people are totally awesome. Oh, the Russians are so cold. Yeah, unless you get to know them and their babushka, their grandma is making you cabbage rolls and now they're going to be there for the rest of your life. So it is one of those things that you'll see that you can find great people everywhere. So Mika writes, what kind of souvenirs do you look for when visiting new places? Love your videos. Thank you, Mika. So I was telling people, so see that painting over there? And there's painting there. And we got paintings all over houses from artists we've got in different places. We usually do that. If you look over here and you see that's from this one here, we got Japan on the fake food market with the noodles you can make your own stuff with. So we do that. Was I ever a fan of The Amazing Race or Survivor? I never really watched them. I traveled so much. I never really watched them. I know when I would come home from traveling, people were like, you should watch this show. It's great. I never got a chance to. So I hope they were good. Anyway, last couple ones, and I got to get upstairs. Oh, my goodness. We've been on here for an hour. I got to get upstairs, make sure the kids are asleep. Otherwise, Jocelyn will beat my butt. But let's see. Have you ever had any safety concerns in Naples? In Naples, what you got to watch out for is when you take the Circumvesuvia from the train station, you go downstairs to take the Circumvesuvia train to go to like Pompeii or to Sorrento or something like that. There's a lot of people that are trying to pickpocket or check stuff out, so do be careful there. Also, crossing the street, just follow the locals. Just follow the locals. Just follow the locals. Okay, that's my advice to you. Let's see. Right. Travel often makes me sick. How do I combat this? I would talk to your doctor, to be honest. If you have any like super fears of flying or really bad tummy stuff or really bad, vertigo and stuff like that, talk to your doctor. It'll help out. Anyway, I got to go help out the boys. So I didn't have too many questions for my students, but my students that were on here, I hope I answered your questions. For those of you traveling, I hope you have great travels wherever you're going to be around the world. Thank you for everyone that with the super chats. It really does make a big, huge difference for us. Thank you, Emperor King. I appreciate that. I wish everyone a great Thursday. I know I was going to put out the Rome video today, but we got kind of crazy with everyone gone and stuff. But I'll get the what to know before you go to Rome video out so we can have some more stuff and have a good time. An X-Rider, what do I think of San Jose, Costa Rica? There's a lot of other great places to go to Costa Rica instead, but you can fly in and out of there really easily and get to the beaches and stuff like that. Manuel Antonio. Anyway, have a great one. I wish you all the best. Good luck to my students tomorrow on your exam. And thank you, everybody, for taking part. And I want to say bye from our library. Bye.